Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today what I want to do for you guys is I want to go a little bit more in depth based on what we talked about yesterday about the new tier 2 characters, the 5 that we got. But one in particular I wanted to focus on, I bet you can guess, is Carnage. This big red motherfucker, the Elmo of Future Fight. I wanted to focus on him because there's been a lot of conversation, and there will continue to be a lot of conversation about his tier 2 passive, Maximum Carnage. Oh, you betcha. There's some fucking Maximum Carnage on the Reddit right now and on the fucking Meribium forum. But anyways, what does it do in case you're one of the uninitiated? It gives him a huge damage boost when he uses his 6-star skill, which is his best skill. And then he gets 6 seconds of invincibility. That is fucking bananas. Now, there is a difference between invincibility and immunity to all damage, okay? If you guys go into the, like, fucking compendium of Marvel Future Fight, which is kind of hard to get to, we got to go over here to the guide, and then we have to go to content or skill name. Here we go. And invincibility. So he's immune to basic attacks, guard breaks, damage, and debuffs. Now look, it's different than immune to all damages. It's immune is an effect that can stop damage and debuffs for a set amount of time. But it can not stop everything, okay? It doesn't stop basic attack motions, it doesn't stop guard breaks. So you can still get interrupted when you're immune to damage. And there are things that dispel immunity to all damage, like Wiccan's Dispel Zone. But there's nothing currently in the game that dispels or stops or negates invincibility. It's just very short, brief text here that says your hero is gonna fuck shit up and he's gonna, you know, whip his dick out for Harambe. So yeah, obviously if you're a badass and you get something like invincibility, it propels you. You know, Thanos is a character, very notable character, that has about 3.5 seconds of invincibility when he uses his 6-star skill. It's not advertised, but it's something that players who play with him will know. Corvus gets 5 seconds of damage of invincibility when he uses his 6-star skill, Peekaboo. And I can show you guys that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that that is a 6-second trigger that triggers every time he uses his 6-star skill, and it lasts for 6 seconds with a 3-second cooldown. Now if you look at Carnage's 6-star skill, and this is where people start to get salty, his 6-star skill has a 14-second base cooldown. You can bring that down to about 10, 11-ish seconds. I think, I'm not quite 9, but you can bring it down a lot. Maybe even 9, but you can bring it down a lot. Basically, you can bring it down to the point where he's almost invincible for the entire time that you're manually controlling him. So almost perfectly invincible. That seems kind of overpowered, even in the sense of the word overpowered. You know, everything is relative in this game, but as far as relativities go, Carnage is immediately put up there in the conversation with characters like Corvus and Thanos, who are, you know, incredibly difficult to farm for. Now, I want to get into the reason why I think this was not the best way to go about his tier 2 skill. I'm just going to play some timeline for you guys while we're doing this, because I don't have a tier 2 Carnage, so I can't show it off to you guys. But I do have things that I want to discuss, and maybe we can find a tier 2 Carnage to fight later on. So basically, what is... there we go, we found one, but I'm not fucking fighting this guy. I want to win. So, you know, what is really the issue here? So we got 5 new tier 2 characters. Oh, I'll fight tier 2 still, Silk. We got 5 new tier 2 characters, and one of them is like totally fucking broken. That's fine. Carnage was broken. We already have videos of Carnage clearing Supervillain AB Day solo. We will definitely have videos very soon of Carnage beating the Combat Alliance Battle Day. That's definitely gonna happen. I can guarantee it. And so what does it mean? There's a couple of things that it creates. There's a couple of situations that come about because of that. You got your invincibility obelisk. Good for you. So basically, the first thing about Carnage that we want to take into consideration is the character in question. So, Carnage is a combat character, and for the longest time, Combat AB has been the most difficult AB of them all. Now, recently, with the Sharon Rogers patch and the introduction of Sharog, the Chainsaw, the Menace, the Woman, the Man, Blast AB has become incredibly easy. Previously, Speed AB was made a lot easier by tier 2s of like Black Widow, Ant-Man, Agent 13, stuff like that. And I'm not trying to say that Carnage was given a sick tier 2 because he's a combat character. I'm just saying to keep that in mind because it's kind of important. You know, when the devs are making decisions on what kind of tier 2s different characters get, they take that into consideration. What kind of utilization will the character get? Where will the character see the most play? Now, you have to remember, Carnage was already a very good character. I mean, he was not capable of clearing Combat AB in any form, but he was a very good world boss character. He could beat all of the world bosses on his own, aside from Infinity Thanos and Black Dwarf, which is, you know, nothing to scoff about. That's an impressive feat, you know. But Carnage was already a great character. But now we have to look at what kind of character is Carnage in the game. Can you farm for Carnage? With your wallet, you can. Carnage is not a character that's available in any way, shape, or form other than through the bio selectors that you have to pay for. Admittedly, I've paid for them twice now, but it stands to reason that you can only acquire Carnage initially through bio selectors that you pay about $11 for. From that point, you can get the mega rank up tickets that everybody loves, and you can immediately mega rank him. And that was where a lot of people stood with Carnage up until now. You spend $11, you got Carnage, you just used Carnage, you selected Carnage once for one day, and then you used a mega rank up ticket on him. Or maybe you selected Carnage a few more days to get his gears up to like all 17s. That's fine. Now Carnage tier 2 is introduced. There's no way to use a regular tier 2 ticket on him unless you get all of his gears to 20, which means you can't grind for the character, but you can grind with your time and with your wallet. So what that means is you can go and you can spend another $11, you can wait another month, and you can slowly collect his bios to max out his gears before you use a tier 2 ticket on him. Okay? Now, it takes anywhere from 300 to, if you're really unlucky, 400, 450 bios to get any character's gears to all 20. So that's majority of the month, because the month will give you 600 bios. So someone can do the math for me there. It's a lot. It's a lot of days. It doesn't happen immediately, that's for sure. That was a lot of damage there, Ghost Rider. Fuck you. So now that we know that, and then you have to wait, of course, till the end of the month for the ticket. The other way of doing it is to drop about $90 and buy the Mega Tier 2 ticket, and that will get your Carnage to Tier 2 immediately, and that's what a lot of people did. But that's $90. And what irks me here is a couple of things. The first thing is the money, because the money is the only way to get Carnage. The only way to Tier 2 Carnage is money or time. You know, and I think that you're only giving people those two choices, and the time one is in tandem with money. You still have to spend money, but you also have to spend your time. And I'll be honest with you guys, if I did that and then I waited, you know, it's gonna be like 2 or 3 weeks. By that time, there's gonna be another flavor of the month. I guarantee you. You know, this game moves really fast. It's not gonna be long before another character gets a dope ass Tier 2. Not as dope as Carnage, but still. The shine and the newness will wear off, and because it's not available for players who don't pay, it creates this feeling of shittiness. You know, compare him, Carnage, to Sharon Rogers, for example. Sharon Rogers is not a paywall character, so Sharon Rogers is available from the event where she was introduced. She was announced to new players, she was advertised, there was a way to farm for her. So people felt really good. I can remember it because it wasn't that long ago. People felt really good about the whole experience. They're like, wow, we're getting this dope ass character who's powerful and it feels good, and you know, yeah, we have to spend a mega rank up ticket on her or whatever, but you know, it feels like this is something we can attain as free-to-play players or players who just spend a little bit of money and a little bit of time. not this like month-long fucking grind. Okay, so as opposed to Carnage, who's like, okay, you can pay $11 and wait a month, or you can pay about $100 and wait like a minute, which is what I've said before, and it just kind of feels like you don't have a choice. Netmarble is choosing for you. You want this OP character, you pay us. And that's, you know, that's never something that you want to clearly illustrate. Of course, every business is there to make money. I'm not an idiot, you know, I'm not a white knight. Netmarble should be giving us things for free. You know, I'm not a dumbass. I know how games work, but it's also a shitty situation to put your player base in, where you introduce this new trophy and you say, well, the only way to get this trophy is to have a credit rating and to get a credit card. You know, I don't think that it's good game design, personally. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't think it's first of all, it's non-interactive, because there's literally no interaction. There's nothing you have to do as a player to get Carnage. You have to go through some Google or Apple screens where it says, please input your password and confirm your purchase, and then ta-da, it's there. You know, there's nothing about Future Fight when you're unlocking Carnage. You're basically playing, you know, credit card wars. So, you know, it's non-interactive and it just feels cheap. Even though it's very expensive, it feels cheap. So there's that. Then there's the question of, whoa, okay, Silk, you got a crit there, girl? True. Okay. Gotta pay a little bit more attention now. Rest in peace. Rip in peace, girl. Anyways, back to the Kappa Kappa. What was I saying? Fuck. You have to, yeah, he's a combat character. And so that's the other thing that I wanted to raise, the other point that I wanted to raise. If Netmarble was so keen on making a new OP combat character, and let's put the benefit of the doubt with them and say that they weren't just trying to make their Paywall character broken as fuck. Let's just say that they rolled the dice and it landed on Carnage instead of, well, Venom. Because Venom was the other combat character available in this patch, in this update, who could have gotten a dope-ass tier 2. And now I'm not going to say that Carnage is comparable to Venom. If they want to make Carnage more powerful than Venom in this game, I don't know how it works out in the comics, but if they want to make him more powerful, that's fine. I don't need Venom to be stronger than Carnage. That's not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is they could have toned down Carnage's tier 2 a little bit, not a lot, a little bit, and they could have given some of that invincibility love to Venom. Venom is a farmable character. Venom is a character that a lot of people stopped investing in recently because he has sucked for like a year. So it's not like everyone has him ready to tier 2 anyways, and I wonder out loud if Netmarble has those statistics available to them, if they know how many characters players have lined up for tier 2. That would be interesting to see if they did. Anyways, I digress. But we had another combat character, so there was, you know, there's no real incentive to cherry pick on Carnage. Not that Venom got a bad tier 2, but there could have been a bit more of a balance to it, and I don't think anyone would have been upset about it. I think people would have liked it actually a lot more. And what do we get instead? We get a salty ass community who's like, why the fuck, you know, are all of the pay-to-win characters, or not the pay-to-win characters, but the paywall characters, like visibly more powerful than our regular characters, you know. But then you look at the other ones, you know, Hyperion is not that much better than other tier 2s. I would argue that he's not even in the top 10 tier 2s. Gwenpool is probably in the top 10, but she's just been released and she's a new character, and it was a comic book tie-in, so there are different reasons for that. But Carnage has been like an established part of this game and an established part of the comic book mythology for a long time. He has a huge loyal fan base, so you're not doing it to appease the fans, because there weren't that many Carnage fans out there. I would guess there are more Venom fans than Carnage fans. So don't give me this shit that it's like, oh, it's for the fans. It's not for the fans. It seems like it's for the monies. Okay. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I know my voice sounds like it's a bad thing, but it's just something that I wanted to bring to your attention. So that's the first part of it. It's that, you know, they had other options for Carnage, and that, you know, it's a non-interactive thing, and it's a thing that just requires you to go through, you know, stuff that's not actually part of the game. So that kind of feels shitty. I'm still gonna do it, don't get me wrong, but it feels shitty. Second part is, the future. Now this part I think is more important, and it's something that I'm going to show you guys in a second when I finish this fight, so just give me a second to not lose to Shirag, and then we'll be good. Shirag can actually push Thanos out of this animation if she uses, I believe, her 1-star skill. When he's going into the portal, she can bump him out of it. I've been bumped out of it before by different Sharon Rogerses. Maybe they had a guard break on their obelisk, I'm not sure. I almost got the 10 wins in the time I was talking to you guys. That's not bad. That's about 15 minutes for 10 wins. That's pretty good. Okay, what I'm talking about here, guys, what I want to discuss for the future of the game, which is something that I always like to look at, is this page right here. This is an important page, and it will be important in the coming months. Now we're getting pretty close to you know, old Santa Claus's birthday. You know, Jesus' birthday is coming up soon in December. So keep that in mind. If we look at the list, and this is a list that has grown exponentially since we first saw these little yellow and blue left corner insignias on the portraits, the tier 2 status. Okay, I remember it wasn't introduced that long ago, guys, and now look at this shit. More than half of the characters in the game are tier 2. If you count out the characters that still need their tier 2, you will get to the number 32. That rhymed unintentionally. But if my math is correct, we have 32 remaining characters that need their tier 2s. Some of them also need their 6-star abilities, but that's besides the point. The point is that we're almost at the time, and I imagine it's going to come somewhere around Christmas, where all of the characters in the game have their tier 2 passives and their tier 2 advancement requirements and abilities and whatever. What comes next? And this is something that immediately came to mind for me when I saw Carnage's tier 2. What the fuck is gonna come next in the game? What kind of grotesque monster of a game mode, which I'm looking forward to, don't get me wrong, but what kind of like uber boss are we gonna see that is being necessitated by having all characters with their tier 2 available passives available? Because there would be no reason to boost all of the characters in the game, even if it's just a slight boost, even if it's not a big boost for someone like my man Ultron. It is a boost. You're making the characters in the game, which are the tools for defeating the enemies, stronger. So the logic goes that if you make the characters stronger, you have to make the bosses stronger. And as you guys can see, day by day, week by week, month by month, these numbers are climbing higher and higher. Okay, we're already at more than 150,000 kills on Supergiant. That's crazy. We still have like almost 12 hours to go before the reset. That number might creep up to like 250. I don't know. But my point is that something bigger is going to have to come. And of course, I want bigger things to come, but that's not what I'm concerned about. What I'm concerned about is that most tier 2s absolutely suck. They're just garbage. They don't make the character any more viable to kill, for example, Infinity Thanos. Now, yes, there are a handful of tier 2s who make it possible to kill Infinity Thanos. Maybe tier 2 Iron Fist, tier 2 maybe Songbird, tier 2 Gwenpool, tier 2 Black Widow if you're Korean, tier 2, you know, tier 2 Sharon Rogers, tier 2 Ant-Man with the right strikers and the right obelisks. I'm gonna guess tier 2 Carnage. Now, what I'm trying to say is, are we gonna be forced to collect these specific tier 2 characters in order to be competitive in the upcoming content that's going to push the difficulty level to the next stage? Because I guarantee you guys that Netmarble would not be doing all this stuff with the tier 2s if their intention was not to make the game harder, was not to introduce a new set of world bosses who were all baseline level as strong as Infinity Thanos, and then they just got harder from there. I mean, that's basically what we can expect. We're either gonna get that, or we're gonna get some kind of ultra competitive real-time PvP. In which case, you betcha, you will need tier 2 Carnage and other cheesy, overpowered tier 2 characters. Now, I'm not trying to, you know, put a dampen on your spirits here, guys. This is part of the game. This is part of the evolution of the game, the growth. There are always growing pains. I just want you guys to keep this in mind, and I want you to think about this and, you know, see things through a different prism, through a different perspective, because it's important. You know, we have a voice in this game. We have a voice in the surveys and stuff like that. And things do, you know, come to light, or things can be changed if we talk about it. So it's just something that I really wanted to discuss with you guys, and it's something that I think moving forward is going to become more relevant. People are going to get stuck on the fact that Carnage has 6-second invincibility, but it speaks louder volumes about stuff that's yet to come, I think. So guys, that's it for today's video. I haven't done this in a while, so we're gonna check on the debris boys. Do we have debris boys? Yes, we do. Oh baby, hashtag fucking debris boys. We only got one, but that's okay. We got the Venom bios. Holler at Venom. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.